Back in 2023, I spent over 20 hours drawing this parrot. I originally filmed the process as a way to teach you how to draw realistic feathers. But now, 3 years later, I'm using this drawing as a cautionary tale. In this video, I'm going to show you why drawings like this keep artists stuck and exactly what you should do instead if you want to make meaningful progress. I know that calling this drawing a problem might seem a little crazy because technically it's a good drawing. The colors are bright and vibrant, the feathers are detailed, and it feels finished. But the way that this drawing turned out isn't the problem. The problem was how I was spending my most valuable resource, my time. When I made this drawing, I spent almost no time exploring different compositions. I went straight into a tight crop with a plain white background. I spent about 45 minutes creating the line drawing and then transferring it to the page. Then the next 19 plus hours were spent doing just one thing, rendering. Every feather, every detail. That means that 95% of my time was spent just building up layers of colored pencil on the surface. Now, rendering is an important skill, but it is just one of many skills that you need in your toolbox, and it should not be taking up the majority of your time. When you spend that much time rendering, you're neglecting the skills that actually determine whether a drawing works in the first place. Things like composition, drawing accuracy, storytelling, and creative color and value decisions. When artists move from one long detailed drawing straight into the next, they don't get the opportunity to regularly practice these setup skills. And if you're tracing someone else's photo at the beginning of a 20-hour rendering marathon, you're not practicing these skills at all. Now, I'm not immune to this rendering trap. When I began my artistic journey several decades ago, I did not work this way, but once I discovered colored pencils, I found myself diving into the rendering process and moving from one long detailed drawing to the next. And I think I did this because the rendering process is so meditative and soothing, and once you know how to do it, it's relatively easy. In fact, it's much easier than those problem-solving skills of creating a composition and making strategic decisions with your value and color scheme. But there was a problem. The more I worked on these long, time-consuming pieces, the less I felt like an artist. I felt more like a technician and, in many cases, just a glorified copy machine. After finishing this drawing back in 2023, I moved on to another long, time-consuming piece. And after a few of these in a row, I was really feeling a creative void. I knew I needed to shake things up. So I took on the 100 Heads Challenge. In this challenge, I committed to drawing 100 portraits in my sketchbook over the course of 2 weeks. This strict time constraint meant that there was no time to perfect every detail or render the skin perfectly. At first, this made me really uncomfortable because it had been so different from the way I had been working. But as I went along, I became completely absorbed in the process in the best possible way. I was drawing faster, making decisions, solving problems, and then immediately moving on to the next drawing. After finishing this challenge, I realized that I had learned more in the last 2 weeks than I had in the last several months or even years of these back-to-back long detailed drawings. And this was a huge wake-up call to me. I realized that if I wanted to continue to make meaningful progress as an artist and to feel that creative spark as I worked, I needed to change the way that I was working. Throughout the rest of this video, I'll be sharing 4 shifts that you can make to improve your artistic journey. These shifts have made such a big difference for me and my students. And the best part is you don't need to have any more time to spend on your artwork. You don't need to give up realistic drawing. You just need to use the time you already have more strategically. I'm going to show you what these shifts look like as I draw this hornbill. Now, I've got another drawing of a bird here, but this one took just a fraction of the time. We're talking 1, maybe 2 hours instead of the 20 plus hours that I spent on this parrot. Now, for full context, I started this drawing in a live class, so I don't have the beginning of the process recorded. But I started this drawing with a very loose sketch in an erasable colored pencil, kind of like this. When your initial line drawing is light and flexible, you can adjust shapes and placement easily. You can actually think about the composition instead of locking yourself into something too early. Sometimes I realize that the reference isn't all that strong, or I'm not excited about the composition. And that's incredibly valuable because I can walk away before I invest 20 hours into something that isn't working. I practice these loose sketches and I plan out compositions regularly in my sketchbook. And these don't take a lot of time. I can get a lot out of a 15-minute session a couple of times a week. So this leads us to our first shift. Invest time in a regular sketchbook practice. I want you to get in the habit of doing loose sketches and quick thumbnail studies regularly. These are not meant to be polished pieces. They're practice. They're where you develop your design skills and train your eye. And this is something that I almost never see artists do when they're in the habit of jumping from one long detailed drawing to the next. If you're new to sketchbooks and you want a baby step, here's what I want you to do for your next drawing. Just think about 3 different ways that you could compose your artwork. Maybe it's a different crop, or maybe it's a different angle. Document these in your sketchbook and take some time to decide which one is strongest before you dive in and start working on the finished piece. If you know you want to start or restart a sketchbook practice, but you're craving a little bit of support, I'm going to encourage you to check out my Sketch 7 program. This mini course is all about building a consistent sketchbook habit in as little as 15 minutes a day. And all of the exercises focus on developing the skills that are going to set you up for success as a realistic artist. I'll leave a link to that down in the video description. After I had established a composition that I was happy with, I began using a variety of colored pencils to lay out my initial color impressions and to establish my shadow shapes. At this stage, I'm not thinking about details. I'm thinking about structure. The second shift that I want you to consider is adopting a very layered approach. When you start with light, simple layers, you can see how everything is working together early on. You can evaluate your color relationships, you can see your value structure, and you can avoid getting stuck in one of those tiny areas before the rest of the drawing even makes sense. This is something that I see all the time. Artists get pulled into rendering one tiny little section, and they leave the rest of the drawing behind. If you are copying a photo reference pixel for pixel, sometimes you can pull this off. But more often than not, something about these pieces just feels off. As I built up this portrait in layers, I was able to keep the whole piece moving forward together. And I was able to judge my color, value, and temperature relationships throughout the entire process. If you would like to learn more about this portrait, let me know down in the comments. At this point in the drawing, I've started to make more concrete color decisions and build a little more opacity. And I'm only about 45 minutes in. I was able to accomplish a lot in a small period of time because I was working loosely and in layers, but also because I was working smaller. Because this study is smaller, I can move through every stage of the process much faster, and that changes everything. If you spend 20 hours on one drawing, you practice composition once and you lay out your drawing once. But if you do 4 smaller drawings in that same amount of time, you practice composition 4 times. You get more repetition, more feedback, more growth. And something really important happens. The time between your drawings gets shorter, so the lessons from one piece are still fresh when you start the next one. You can actually build on your progress instead of starting over every time. I've seen this in my own work, and I see it all the time with my students. Many of my students that enter the color lab typically have been working on one long detailed drawing after the next. And it's a bit shocking when they enroll in my program and I ask them to work on several small studies. They're turning out one every week sometimes. And making this shift from these long detailed drawings to smaller drawings that they're finishing more frequently has dramatically sped up their progress. The shift to working smaller naturally leads us to another shift, working more loosely. In my mind, this is more of a sketch or a study. So instead of rendering every little detail, I start with simple readable shapes and I only add the detail where it actually matters. You can see that here in the trees. I'm not copying every leaf or texture, I'm suggesting it. I'm designing it, and that's much faster and often more interesting. Compare that approach to the parrot, where I was building up feathers one by one, sometimes one tiny strand at a time. There is absolutely a time and place for this amount of detail, but this is the key. Details are never going to save a weak drawing. So if your composition is off, your values are a mess, or you just have poor structure, you are never going to be able to render your way out of that. And if all you ever practice is detailed drawings, you never have the opportunity to practice the skills that are actually going to make your drawing successful. Now that you know the 4 shifts that you can make to improve faster as an artist, the next step is learning how to catch mistakes early so that you don't lock them into your finished drawing. In this video, I'll show you exactly how I do that in my own work as I catch and fix a mistake. I'll see you over there.